On this episode of Playlog, we're doing our November monthly book club. We're talking about Sable. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the package where we talk all things indie gaming. But of course, I can't talk indie games alone because that's so boring and lonely and not fun at all. So I've got my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kids themselves, Tofr. What's poppin', homie?
I'm doing okay. I heard that you're celebrating Thanksgiving soon.
Yes, absolutely.
So I was wondering, what are you thankful for this year, Dan?
Video games. That's it.
Video game. Okay,
that's it.
Cool.
After this
that was
year,
a podcast. Thanks for watching.
That's it. See ya. Listen, I ain't getting into politics, but I'm about to spend a whole day with a family of people that voted against me, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm not looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. But all I know is we're driving two separate cars, and if we happen to need one as an escape vehicle, I'm ready to hop into it. So, you know, that's life we live. But I don't know about you. The older I get, I just don't give a... We're more than 30 seconds in. I don't give a fuck about holidays anymore. They're just such a hassle. Like, we've done like maybe 2 Friendsgivings in our lifetime. We get the friends together, have Thanksgiving, but that's so much fun. I love that. It's never on Thanksgiving, just a fun little get together. But like, the chore of cleaning the house to get the family to come over and blah, 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 blah. And then you got to go over their house and get the gifts. And then you have the kids. And you're like, I don't know. I don't talk to these cousins, so I don't know what their kids are like. I don't know what to get them. So you get them like an Apple gift card or something because you know they're iPad babies and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So, but holidays, lame. How you Tofr? Like the food? You guys have Tofrs over there? Like Stouffer's mac and cheese? Like it's a brand? Is that a thing?
Is that a brand?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like a red box.
Stovers. We have Stovers, but that's like a kind of meat.
No. What kind of meat is it? Like, that's like the cut of meat? It's called like a Stover's, or that's a brand?
No, it's a kind of meat. Like, it's
made up.
You make it in like this brown sauce, Tofr sauce for the Belgians out there. And you eat it with fries, and if you're cultured with a boatload of mayonnaise.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot. And like, don't get me wrong, I like mayonnaise on a sandwich, but like, if that shit's not flattened out, like if there's a single chunk in that mayonnaise, it's pretty disgusting. Like we got to.
How do you get chunks in mayonnaise?
Oh, no, maybe not a chunk, but like, you know, like a mound, right? Like if I take like mayonnaise, right, and I slap it on some bread, that alone, that's pretty gross. That knife got to be putting in the work. We got to spread that. We got to make that a thin layer of mayo, right? But like, you ever see like you go to like Subway and they're like, oh, would you like any sauces, right? Like, yeah, like, can I get some mayo? And they're like, and it's just like the snake, the worm of mayo. Like, and then they close it. That ain't it for me. That's not going to do it. Now, to be fair, Subway most of the time, all the other stuff on there hides it regardless. But like, that's on a regular sandwich, that won't do. That's got to be spread out. We can't be doing that. We got to fix that problem. So you're saying give me a bucket of mayonnaise for my fries and then Stouffer's or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hypnotic. Put that knife to work. Hey, mayo out the jar. Daphne, what's wrong with you? That's gross. What? It's just like lard, right? How are you just eating out the jar?
I think it's a Belgian thing.
Yeah, I can tell. You guys are weird. We
have this thing, like with barbecue, we have like 100 different kinds of sauces.
So that sounds fun. Barbecue's fine. But don't you guys do like blackface or something for your holidays too? Like, you guys...
yeah. What's coming up? December 6th?
No, don't get excited about it.
No, but the thing is, the whole country is going to be divided again for a couple of weeks because
been there, baby.
Yeah.
Ours has been all year. That's crazy. Oh, damn. Well, on that day, I'll be at PAX Unplugged, so yeah.
Ooh.
The War to Find Peace, though, it's also Marvel Rivals Day, so December 6th, we kind of find a balance.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, chat, how you guys doing today? Thanks for being here. This is Playlog Podcast. Again, we talk all things indie gaming, and then we talk about mayonnaise and blackface, too, so it's a really good time over here. Like, how casual, you're like, yeah, blackface, I guess. But real quick reminder, do not forget the Indie Game Awards are coming up. They're on December 9th. I believe it is 4 p.m. Eastern. I might be wrong.
19th.
What did I say?
9th.
9th, my apologies. November 19th. My 19th. There's a 1 in front of that. December 19th, not November 19th. Fine. The end of the year is so crazy. Let's try it again. The Indie Game Awards. The Indie Game Awards. December 19th. We'll be reacting on Twitch. Tofr and I are judges. It's a good time. I got the email today. Mike's like, hey guys, don't forget to submit your stuff by the end of the week. And I'm like, got it. I'll hit the send button. I just we had to wait for the accessibility ones because I wanted to look into those. But we can hit send and I'll just send it off. Well, I'll get there, Mike. But anyway, we're judging for the show. But I'll be doing a live reaction, of course, to see who wins all the fun stuff. But that aside, that's all I got. That's the housekeeping. And then Daphne's just like, Mayo is life. Whatever.
Mayo is life.
It's a part of life, I suppose. I don't know if I say it's my whole life. You know, if we eradicated Mayo, I wouldn't, cease to exist, I suppose. But okay, fair enough. Whatever works for y'all. I ain't gonna tell you not to be happy. But this is the part of the show we will break the ice. Remember, you can write into the show and ask us your questions about gaming, content creation, life, etc., etc. And we'll read it right here on the show, just like friend of the show Jacob McCourt did. Jacob asked, "How do you track which games you're playing? I want to play and finish every." Is that a typo, Jacob? Can you not spell? How do you two track which games you're playing? I want to play and finish every year. I used to have a big old Twitter thread, but plan on stopping that and using the GG app as well. Be curious what y'all do. Do you have a process for tracking, like what games you played and beat and everything like that? No, you just do it.
No. Like the thing is, when I really like a game, I just add it to my favorites on Steam.
Yeah.
But I do like. Make a new category every year with like these are the games from that released in this particular year.
Yeah.
So I can have like some kind of idea when I played what.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I
see
don't really. I hadn't heard of this GG app, but I'm definitely gonna look into this.
Yeah, I'm really bad with the GG app because every year that's like. Not necessarily New Year's resolution, but it kind of is. Where I'm like, I'm going to track myself and post it so it's on like a social platform. I know there's another one that recently came out that's very similar. A buddy of mine, he recommended it to me. I made the account. I posted like one thing, and then I'm like, I forget what the website's called, so I don't remember how to do it. But I enjoy those apps a lot. I just don't commit to them because in the back of my mind, I'm not just like, I finished the game, better open the app and post. Like I just never do that. So it's a weird thing for me to track. I think it's honestly, did I cover it or did I talk about it or did I, uninstall, reinstall, whatever the case is just, that's how I track what I've completed. But I would like to steal that Twitter thread or maybe do it on Blue Sky or maybe both, whatever this year. Cause I'd like to have like, I guess the little achievement to tell my audience like, hey, I finished this game, I finished this game, I finished this game and post that like, as things go on throughout the year. But how long will I stick to it? We won't find out until 2025. So we're here. Oh boy. So let's hop into the quick indie news real quick. We only got one little article and it's Rift of the Necrodancer gets a release date in February for PC, consoles to follow. This one comes from, I don't see a name, Ed Nightingale over at Eurogamer. Give you guys a little chance to look at that cool art. Oh, we beating people over the fucking guitar. Rift of the Necrodancer finally got a firm release date, but it's been pushed back into next year. I don't want your notifications. Go away, Eurogamer. Now set a late 2024 release date, the game will be out on the 5th of February 2025. To achieve this, developer Brace Yourself Games has decoupled the Steam and console releases, meaning this release date is for PC only and other versions will follow. Quote, to hit a 2024 launch date, we would have needed to do some serious crunch to polish and bug fix. The developer started a new blog post. Here at Brace Yourself Games, we're all about a sustainable groove, not the grind. We believe in making awesome games without sacrificing our team's well-being. And yeah. That's pretty much the cut and dry of it. Rift and Necrodancer coming next year in February. You excited for this one?
I have mixed feelings after playing the demo during Next Fest.
Yeah, you like it's like the Guitar Hero thing. I don't know if you were like into it or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I like the Guitar Hero thing, but it's just it feels like a step back from what the original game was.
Okay.
For some reason. So I'm unsure. Maybe that's only part of the game that we got to see during the demo, but I'm hoping for something more.
Okay. Yeah, I still have the demo sitting on my PC. I have to check it out. I meant to do it during Next Fest and just never got around to it. I was really bad at Crypt of the Necrodancer. Like, I should, in all respect, be like really excited about the rhythm, jumping and fighting and everything. I was just never good at it and never took the time to get better. But Rift and Necrodancer, I think, just stylistically reads to me a little bit more as someone who's not really in the Guitar Hero thing, but it's another one of those, you put in a coat of paint that I'm familiar with or I'm interested in, and I'll be down. So
yeah,
I'll check out the demo here. Probably not anytime soon with Game of the Year stuff coming up, but you know, we're living and dreaming. But yeah, the game looks fun. I'm excited.
All right.
Bet. That's it, guys. That's it. That's the news. We've talked about everything. There's nothing else in the world to talk about for indie
This
stuff.
is gonna be a speedrun podcast.
Yeah, yes. I'm expecting 15 minutes max. Don't check the time of the stream. No, but with the indie news out of the way, it's time to get into the topic of the show. Our book club for the month of November. We played Sable. Real quick before we get into our thoughts, Sable released on September 23rd, 2021. It was developed by Shedworks and published by Raw Fury. Currently, it holds a Metacritic score of 76 and a user score of 5.9. Now, I closed the Steam page. I meant to read the description before we did that, and I fucked it up. So, now it's up because I rambled. Sable, in Sable, you embark on a unique and unforgettable journey and guide Sable through her gliding, a rite of passage that'll take her across vast deserts and mesmerizing landscapes, capped by the remains of spaceships and ancient wonders. Tofr, up front, initial thoughts. What'd you think of Sable?
I was a bit disappointed.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
and I did not expect to be. But I feel. And I'll get more into it later on during our discussion. But
yeah,
I think I might have played this at the wrong time.
Okay.
I think I should have played this earlier, before I played certain other games.
Yeah. Would that certain other game be Caravan Sandwich or just in general?
That's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
certainly one of them.
I'm not far off from you. I don't know that I would use disappointed, but I would definitely say, like, I could see a world where this game walked so other indie open worlds could run. And I've definitely experienced those and enjoyed those more. I'm talking, all I was playing this, I thought, I really enjoyed Little Kitty Big City. I really enjoyed Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip. These other, like, indie open worlds typically are so small. And this game's not small. Like, it's fairly large. But I definitely felt the emptiness and then some of just the hiccups with the controls as I'm going through, where it just didn't feel like I was satisfied by the end. And we'll talk more as we get into exploration and stuff like that. But it's fine. I think if someone came to me directly and said, like, I want an open world desert game where I can just kind of explore and find my own way, I think Sable's the first one that comes to mind. But if someone's like, I want an open world game where I have things to do, I don't think Sable's one that I would immediately recommend. I'm sure I could find a list of 5 or 6 other games before I'd want to tell people to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I do have to say, at the same time, I'm a bit surprised at the 5.9 user score on Metacritic. I thought this game was quite revered, and I was actually surprised to see that on Steam it sits at a very positive rating instead of an overwhelmingly positive. So maybe I just had, like, maybe the game was hyped up to be more than it actually is in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember leading up to this one, right? Like, Sable's one that I remember seeing for so long and thinking, like, I can't wait to play this when it finally comes out. And then once it dropped, God knows what I was playing at the time, where I'm like, I'll get to it eventually. It came out on Game Pass, blah, blah, blah. And I just never took the time, never got around to it. Which is great because we have the book club for those exact reasons, like games we didn't get to. But yeah, playing this one in 2024, 3 years after it released, like just over 3 years, you could definitely see where, like, its age shows really quick in its quality. We even did a quick search beforehand, like trying to find out what Shedworks is working on now, if anything, or if the studio closed. Like, any indie studios will just dip out of nowhere and you just won't even know until you actually go to look for it. I saw nothing about a closure, but I also saw nothing about what they're working on now, so couldn't tell you. Not sure what's going on there. But yeah, with initial thoughts out of the way, I guess we want to hop in and kind of talk about, like, what Sable is. So Sable's this open world adventure game. You are playing as Sable, and you're going on your gliding, which is kind of like your rite of passage. You're hopping out into the world and you're trying to find, like, which tribe you want to join. And then as you go and find these different tribes, you're talking to them, you're interacting with them, you're doing quests for them. And after you complete so many tasks, you can unlock, like, their mask. Once you do that for God knows how many tribes there were, you finalize your mission, you pick, like, your whole gliding, the whole thing, pick your mask which tribe you want to join and then roll credits. And that's how the game ends. But it's all about exploring, finding the different worlds and everything like that. How did you feel about like exploration in this game? Like whether that's the traversal, the actual like elements of finding things, like anything. What do you think about it?
Let me tell you, I struggled with it.
Yeah.
Like at first I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Like the game looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It has a really unique art style that like makes me think of these French sci-fi comics I used to read.
Okay.
And I love that. And I liked spending time in this world at first.
Mm.
But then I started to struggle because I was just floating around. And once in a while I'd run into like the remnants of a spaceship and solve a puzzle. Or maybe I'd run into someone with 3 lines of dialogue.
Yep.
And I'd talk to them and leave. And it felt so empty.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's like it's a desert world.
Yeah.
It makes sense that it's empty. But even the spaces where people live still felt empty.
Yeah, 100%.
It didn't feel like there was there were actual lives happening there. They felt like NPCs that have been put there to give you a mission.
Yeah, exactly what they are. Like they shouldn't feel that way, but they do. Yeah.
No. And yeah, it broke the immersion for me too much. In fact, it broke it so much that I didn't finish the game.
Tofr. Valid.
I
wasn't far off.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like you know that I've been struggling with my mental health in recent weeks, and my mindset was just not ready to be like wandering around this aimlessly.
Yeah.
I needed more guidance. I needed more things happening. I needed more things going on, and I even though I do like the game, I didn't like that I felt forced to play it.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Not because of the book club, but just like I was like, I want to finish this, but then the longer I played, the less I wanted to finish it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was super similar. Maybe a little less of I wanted to finish it as much as I need to find the end like now. Like I wanted to get to an ending, maybe not the one like everyone wants to have, but like an ending. As I progressed, so I told you, I teased this last week on the podcast. I'm like, oh, might have fucked up. We're going to see what happened. So when you start the game, you leave this temple, you go to your first village, which is here. You're speaking to JD, however you say it. Now, what's supposed to happen, there's a little hut, which you could see in the footage in the background. There's someone in there. They're like, hey, by the way, when you go out and explore, if you find these 5 things, bring them all back to me and we'll get you started on your mission. I did not go and speak to them. I just went out. I just started climbing and searching and finding stuff, and I found everything. But I'm like, I don't know how to progress. What am I supposed to do? Like, how do I get to the next? There's a big door I can't open. I'm a little confused. So I came back to this town to ask her questions. I explored, and then I found the character in the background. I don't know why I'm so boring in this footage. Like, it's just I'm not moving. I don't know what I did. I need to find better footage. But yeah. And then I came back to town and I found that character, and they were just like, cool. If you go. Here's your reticle. You can use this to mark where you want to go on the map. I'm like, oh, I could have used that like 2 hours ago. That would have been lit. But I didn't find it. And it's like, all right, cool. If you bring me this, and this, we'll get you going. The dialogue ends. I talk to you again. Wow, you found everything. Like, I was like, I did all the missions before I was instructed to do them in this first area, which like in that moment, I'm like, oh, bet like the exploration of this world isn't so bad. You can kind of run in and find what you need to find. Like everything's pretty signposted mainly because of how empty it is. Like it is a lot of just open desert, and you see like the smokestacks in the distance. You see the cartographer's flying ship to be like, oh, that's a thing I can go to and interact with, which is fine. But I did find the traversal to get to everything so frustrating. I hated the bike so much because not that it necessarily handled bad, but you couldn't stay on the ground. If you went over one weird little mound, you're like, and then you'd have to kind of like, if I wanted to like just like streamline get from point A to point B, it was such a slog and I hated it. I honestly considered just running for the sake of not getting thrown around because it would be just as quick. Yeah, that frustrated me a lot. And then once I got to the second areas where I kind of started to feel like there's too much yet too little for me to want to dive into this world right now. Like I just don't really have the desire, which sucked because like I do like the vibe. I do like what this game like kind of offers, but I feel like it just doesn't follow through on what I want it to have. And that's where I'm just like, there's so many other open world games that I would rather put my time into. As I'm sitting on a key for like Caravan Sandwich as a part of the Indie Game Awards, where I'm like, I really want to play that instead. Like I was tempted. I'm like, I'm not going to drop it like for the sake of the book club, but like I'm playing that on Saturday. I'm very much looking forward to getting into Caravan Sandwich to see like how much I prefer that to what I got from Sable.
You are in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
one of the major differences between those two games is that your van in Caravan Sandwich has a boost button.
Oh my God! Thank God.
Makes you go faster.
Thank the Lord, dog.
I so much wanted there to be a boost button in this game.
I thought it was going to be an upgrade. I thought it was going to be because like you can get different upgrades to your bike. You can use the currency to buy new things. I'm like, one of these will have a boost. None of the ones that I bought did. So I have no idea. I didn't look up a guide for it or anything. So maybe it's out there. But God, with the controls and it being so like relatively slow, just go a little bit faster, please.
Yeah, I like usually when it comes to games like this, I don't like to fast travel. I like to immerse myself in the world and actually travel all over the place, be it on foot or using a vehicle.
Yeah.
But I've never used the fast travel option as much as I have in this.
Yep.
And I don't like that because the vibes are there. Like the music by Japanese Breakfast is really good. It suits the colorful world really well. But there's just no reason to spend time in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it like the world feels really cool, right? Like the character designs, the creatures you run into. There's some really dope set pieces. Like if I could find like the first like major like puzzle one where you have like this whatever this challenge was. If you're watching the video version, like you get your first one where you're about to leave to like really start your gliding. Yes, yeah. This one's really cool. I enjoyed this a lot because it's got a cool set piece in the middle. You're doing all these platforming to solve a puzzle, and then it activates where you get your like first new mask. This was dope. This was like kind of the highlight. I'm like, oh, it's getting better. I'm like really feeling it now. And then it like plummeted again, right? Where I'm like, this isn't what I wanted to be. There's another village. God forbid, I wish I could tell you the name of any of them. I didn't, harp on it too much. But it's like a desert city. Like it's like almost like a Bazaar-esque kind of style. I don't know if you know which one I'm referring to, but like very tight corridors, a bunch of hallways and so on and so forth. And when you get there, there's like some kids like, we should play hide and seek. I didn't give a fuck. I did not look for those kids at all. Yeah, I did not go look for it.
That's in what's
I want to say it's like Burn something. Oh no! Oh yeah, you're Eresi. Something to the Eric. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That town.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt so not lost in the way of I can't find my way, but lost in the way of like, this doesn't feel like something I want in this game. This doesn't feel like a town that I want. It's when I think about like, oh, I'm going to replay a game, but you get to like that part where you don't want to be there. You don't want to do that part of the story, but you're just going to kind of get through it to get it done. Like that's what that felt like the moment I got there, which I'm like, that sucks. I don't want it to feel like there's a part I like want to not be around for, but like this is it. I don't like this town very much, just aesthetically, the corridors, everything like that. But once I got out of it, I was like, cool, I'm not going back there. If someone's like, oh, you can go turn in a mission, I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go back there. I'm good.
Yeah, but that town is like a really good example of how this game just doesn't really work because arriving in that town, all of the energy has been shut down by someone, and they don't know who did it. And the game introduces like this element of like being a detective and trying to find out who are the suspects and who could have done this and why. And I just skipped all over that and left. Yeah, because it like I immediately, two different people claimed the same person did it. And I told this to the guard who was investigating. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, we need more evidence. I was like, well, that's your job. Bye.
Yeah. I'm not a gliding dog. I'm not doing that. Yeah. Yeah. I was not a fan of that mission for sure. I think Now, as a part of that mission, you go out and there's like another like cool like set piece, right? It's a big hole in the ground. There's a giant elevator. You have to like climb up, activate it, move it up bit by bit. Like that was cool. I did enjoy that particular part, but as a whole, I didn't enjoy that mission of let me go do your job for you. I think there were just other things that were being added, right? It was like, hey, let me introduce you to like this character, that character. Here's a thing that should occur. But it just felt so like irrelevant, I guess. Like I didn't feel like my character would want to do these things. I feel like I'd want to just let me main, like, I don't know why I'm talking to this kid so fucking much. I'm just watching this footage. I'm like, this is great. This is great. This is great. Yeah. Now to kind of like move to the traverse a little bit, right? I really did enjoy that. Not the bike. The bike sucked. The bike is terrible. But in the same way of like Breath of the Wild, right? Where you have your stamina gauge, you're climbing, you're like, I'm almost there. I just want to make it as your stamina ends. You're like, whew, that felt good. You stand there to recharge the stamina and then go again. Like I enjoyed that loop a lot. Especially when I was going somewhere like, I don't know where this is going to take me, but I see smoke at the top of this mountain. So I got to get up there. Right. There's no fall damage. I don't think. At no point did I die, from fall damage or anything. So. But you get staggered. Like I think you're about to watch me jump off this building, and I think this is before I got the glide. I think
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, yeah. You just jump and you're like, ugh. All right, back to it. Which is so great because like instead of having to climb up and then climb all the way back down, you're just like I made it to the top and just dive and like back to where I want to go. Right, get back to your bike. I did enjoy me as a person being able to walk around and climb and stuff. That felt really cool. I thought that was like mystifying is a little too strong of a word, but it felt like that similar vibe of like I'm playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. I get to kind of what can I climb on? Not as much in Breath of the Wild. There's a lot of walls you can't just like I've tried to climb. I'm like, okay, I can't touch that one for some reason, whatever. But that I enjoyed. I don't know how you feel about the actual climbing and everything.
No, I agree with what you just said. It's fun. I have to mention this though. I played this when it had just released.
Okay.
And I stopped.
Oh no! Hold on, Tofr's dead.
No.
Hey, try again. One more sentence for me.
Am I back?
Yeah, I think so. I think Discord just pooped out.
So I stopped playing this when it originally came out.
Yeah.
And the reason why is you're gonna laugh. As a fan of Into the Spider-Verse, you're gonna laugh. Okay. Because I struggled with the fact that the main character moves at a different FPS than the rest of the game.
Okay.
And my brain just couldn't handle that when it released.
Interesting.
But now I'm used to it because I adored when they did it Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And like my mind was more capable of getting used to it within the gameplay. And like you said, it's fun that you like almost everything that's within reach, you can try and reach.
Yeah.
By climbing, by walking there. There's a level of freedom here that maybe I wasn't ready for.
Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely down to talk more about this frame rate thing because I agree with like the Spider-Verse part of it where like, yeah, the world runs at one, the character runs at another. That being said, I don't know how you played on PC or
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. Okay. On PlayStation, I was playing the PS4 version on the PS5. Man, did this have its moments where it was just chugging. It did not run well. Like, I don't think I have any footage of it because it's like later in the game. I kind of stopped after the first act of capturing footage. But there'd be moments where like I'm watching this thing just chug. There's too much sand. There's too much foliage. There's too much whatever's going on. And it did not like it. And like, there's two different frame rates from the character of the world. And then there's like, man, this whole thing's running at like 12 frames a second. It was not pretty. I was frustrated. Tried to just like get to a destination when the game's like, like it was not fun. So I guess on deck, you didn't have any experiences like that, I suppose, or
not really, not that I noticed anyway. But I have I did see people mention that on Steam, within the Steam reviews.
Okay.
That they had some issues with the frame rate, so I think I might have gotten lucky.
This guy, I don't know. I have the ultimate Steam Deck. I have a RTX 90,000 in there. Okay, I bet. So let's talk about like the masks and stuff, right? The different outfits you can get. So you will get different masks based on like the quest you complete. So if you go to a certain tribe and do something, you get badges for completing tasks. And then if you have 3 badges, you can turn them into these like shrine monk people. They're kind of chilling there waiting for you to bring them like the different artifact. And then they'll give you like a mask for like that tribe. How many of the masks did you end up getting?
1.
Same. Yeah.
Which one did you get?
The cartographer.
Same.
It's the easiest one to get. It's the easiest one to get. Yeah. So I ended up getting that one for the sole purpose of I'm not sure how to progress, because they give you like it's one of those games where like your main quest is always on there, like complete the gliding, which doesn't necessarily have steps to it. It just says complete the gliding. And then as you go and you find more missions, they pop up on the list as well. None of those seemed like they were main quests enough for me to do, but I found one like the shrine there. It's like, hey, bring me 3 of any particular badge. So I'm like, let me get the cartographer one. That'll be easy. I knocked it out, brought it back. And then as you turn that in, they give you the mask. You're watching me struggle to climb. As they bring you that mask, they're like, hey, if you're done, you're done. You can go home and pick your mask. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. I'm going home. And like, which sucks because I hate that. Like, I wanted to experience more of the game and see like what other masks look like and everything like that, but I didn't have it in me to want to. And the moment they gave me the like, basically the, hey, this is the end of the game if you want it to be, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the end of the game because I want it to be.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like, the masks, that each mask corresponds to one of the like careers that you can do. You can be a machinist, you can be a cartographer, you can be other things I can't remember right now.
Yeah, there's some other stuff. Yeah,
and I was thinking like you're gonna be shown why you'd want to be a machinist, why you'd want to be a cartographer, but that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it's basically just like you talk to a machinist, and if you complete a mission for them, you get a machinist badge, and that's it. And I'm like, but like, you guys are able to make these really cool looking gliders, even if they handle atrociously, but they look really cool. I want to learn how to do that. And you're like, nope, no, that's not part of this game.
Yep.
Okay, well, fine then. I guess I won't.
Yeah. I felt like none of them encouraged me to want to explore more of like their tribe, right? Like you mentioned here with the machinist, like there's nothing there. And I'm sitting here, I'm like picturing other people's masks, but I can't think for the life of me what their tribe would have been. And based on like the corridor where you pick your mask, there seems like there's 20, 25, maybe 30 masks to like complete and get. I don't know if that's more of just like a showpiece thing or not, but did you end up taking the cartographer mask then at the end, or did you end up sticking with like the IBEX?
I didn't finish the game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
When I went back and I only had the option, I had the cartographer mask or the like IBEX mask. I was just like, I'll just stick with the one I have because it looks cool. I think the cartographer looks fine. Like the cartographer looks cool. The mask on my character did not. I didn't enjoy that. So I'm like, I'll just stick with like the default cover art mask with the horns because like that one's cool. Like the Sable mask is great. I'm sure one of the other ones probably would have suited me and I would have taken it given the right like amount of badges. But yeah, again, that comes down to like, I just didn't want to go get it. I was ready to play something else.
It's a shame because like there's some gorgeous design going on in this game, but there's no history behind it. It seems, or at least we don't get to learn about the history behind it. Yeah, and that's a shame because if we would just get that information, it would add so much to this game. It would add so much life to this game because there would be history there. Like, especially when I was climbing things, I was reminded of Jusant.
Okay.
Which is also a game where you don't run into anyone. You're basically just climbing this big structure where people used to live.
Right.
But there's so much history there. There are notes that you can discover. There are reasons why everything is where it is. And I didn't feel that here. Like, just imagine if this world had, like, messages that you could find all over the place.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And I think the only
there
real
were a
equivalent
couple of them in the spaceships, but that's about it. I think.
Yeah, I think it was the first you feel like an audio file in that first section. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I have some kind of lore or something that like gives me a feeling that this world was like full at one point. But I think it was the only one I found, like an audio diary. Otherwise, the only other collectibles you get are like the clothes, where you can change like your shirt or your pants and stuff like that. Again, I didn't like anything I found. Like if anything I found that wasn't the default, I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. None of these look good enough for me to want to change. And then there were like bike parts which you could upgrade, but like I didn't feel like getting into the stats of like, I'm gonna make my bike go faster or slower. I just wanted the bike to go. And yeah, watching that last footage, you could see the like the thing that I hated ever so much. Where I'm like, I'm just gonna glide to the place. I'm gonna walk. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned the parts to the glider. I liked the designs, but the thing is, you couldn't like use one part from one design and another part from another design. I mean, you can, but it would look like shit.
Yeah,
because they just would not fit together at all.
Yeah, they're weird because there's like a bug-shaped one. Yeah, I ended up putting on the bug one. It had like little legs on it. I think it had like a longer like tail end. Like it looked cool.
Yeah.
But even after that, I'm like, nah, I want the default one. The default one, like, it's the thing of like the default one looked the best, and is probably just not very good, like comparatively to like whatever other options you can have. But cosmetically, I didn't want to look at it. I wanted it to look better.
I get that.
Yeah.
We're noticing the mailbox here, by the way.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Like you like every village that you arrive in has the same kind of mailbox, and every time I logged in, I had 0 messages, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
glad this is here.
Yeah,
I feel missed.
I wasn't like, something told me that, oh, when I complete a quest I'll get a message, or like I thought that might be like the end of the game where it's like, oh cool, like someone reached out and said do this, but like maybe that's what happened when I turned in and got the mask. Like maybe that's the one time I got a message, but I feel like in my gut it was hey, Sable, if you want to come home now, this is the time, or like I got like, or someone just told me. Like I feel like the mailbox didn't contribute a lot. And this is the part of me, right? When I'm like speaking negatively on a game, I can see the dev being like, you fucking idiots, you didn't look at the fucking thing. If you did the thing, you did the thing. But I'll always double back to, if the game couldn't tell me, right? If the person who made the game had to tell me this is where I got that knowledge, right? Or if I go to the Wikipedia page to find those things, like that tells me that the signposting and the direction of the game didn't allow for me as the player to find what I wanted from that particular thing. Which I just say isn't good. That's not how the game should function then. But what you gonna do, man?
I feel a bit sad looking back on playing this, because like there's clearly a lot of love that has gone into this game. There's beautiful design. There's gorgeous music.
Yeah, music's great.
And it just feels like it's this, like you mentioned before, this game had to walk so others could run.
Yep.
And we mentioned Caravan Sandwich before, but it's a really big difference between those two games. Even though there's only 3 years between them.
Yeah.
You can see like how this built the foundations that Caravan Sandwich has used, but those devs did so much more with it. Now, what I don't know is how big the developer of Caravan Sandwich is. Like how many people are on that team.
I'm not sure.
Sable was made by 2 people.
Oh, okay.
So we have to take that into consideration,
sure.
I think. But still, like, I get that you want to create a game that's all about the vibes and stuff, but it just needed a little bit more life.
Yeah. I think as I sit and look at this, right, as I'm trying to pull up like a Caravan Sandwich and see about Studio Plain Toast, see if there's anything about like their team size or anything. Every time like there's a game I didn't like, I'll talk about the game, blah 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 blah. I think at the end of the day, there's always someone out there who's going to love everything that we hated, right? Maybe not everything. When I talk about how shitty the fucking glider felt, like I'm sure someone will love that. But when they're talking about like the world's empty, I want to just explore the emptiness and find those occasional drops of like, oh, here's something I can find. Here's something I can do. Like I know people out there. It has, we said what, the 79 on Metacritic. People will love that. People have loved it. And I as I said and look at those, right, those are 2021, 2022 reviews, right? So they are very different in the time period we're in now, right? I'm wondering how many people now, having played other indie open worlds like this, that have stepped beyond what this one offered, right? Someone who's played Caravan Sandwich, someone who's played, I'm trying to think of what like some of the other like open world exploration ones like this are called that I'm just blanking on at the moment. But being like, oh, I played this and like it's superior in XYZ reason, right? But someone will touch for the first time having never played any of those and be in love with it. And like, good for them. I want them to have that. And it sucks that like there's always the ramp of like, oh, I completed this and this game was better because I've already beaten this one and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, sometimes playing something older when you're already playing something newer just kind of sets the game up to be like, yeah, no, people have outdone it now. So sorry.
Yeah. Although the visual style has not been outdone yet.
Yeah, no.
I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
I
you could pause this game at any time and take a screenshot, and you'd have a great wallpaper. Even when the glider is going all topsy turvy, then you'd have a funny wallpaper.
Yeah,
but it would still look cool.
Yeah, I see Zenoza said personally, I enjoy the bike. Zenoza, you're a terrible human. You're lying. You're fibbing. The bike felt terrible. No, I'm glad you liked it.
Punishment. They just love punishment.
No, but no, like I said right here, like I hated the bike, and I was like, I loved it. I couldn't vibe with the terrain being so. It's a desert. It's bumpy. There's dunes and everything. But the fact that like if I'm on a straight strip and all of a sudden I hit a ramp, it's just like, and my fins in the sand, and now I can't and then I got to line up again, or the thing curved me, so now I gotta like stop, tank control to go forward again. Like that got frustrating me. I found that to just be tedious. It made my adventuring like slower. Yeah, I can't immediately
also
find like a list for Studio Plain Toast of just how many people work there. So we'll assume 2 or more.
Now, something else I thought was funny with the glider is that, like there are certain areas on the map that are too steep to go up with the glider. So I'd get off my glider, climb up that ledge, and then I just whistle to get my glider up there, and it would work.
I'm so glad yours did, because mine barely ever worked.
Really?
Like, the amount of times I sit there, I'm like, whistle.
Oh, you have to wait sometimes, yeah.
Right? So I'm like, cool, I'll just wait. Whistle. Are we coming? Whistle. Like there's one giant facility in the middle of the desert where like you have to hit a button and then race to get through the door. You can't do it on foot. So you need the glider. I'm like, bet. Whistle. Nothing's coming. I had to run down the ramp to get the bike. Whistle for it to come out from behind a rock, because it turned out it was coming to me, but it was just like, nice rock the whole time. So I had to go around, steer it, and then drive it up, which I'm like, that's so frustrating that I wasn't smart enough to get out of the way. That was so annoying. But yeah, most of the time, even when I waited, like my bike would not show up. I had to walk to it to get it, which probably is what added an extra hour to like my overall game clock. But yeah, God, I hate that bike. Let me see. I said I enjoyed the funny crashes because it made the glider go spinning, but I hated the fucking whale. The whale? The fucking... Try it again, Zenoza. Would you hate the whale? The why? I'm not sure. I think it was a destination called the whale. But like, I'm trying to think which that would be. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Are there any other like important, maybe key points of Sable? Was that a no?
I think we mentioned most of it. Like,
fair enough.
Another thing that.
Whistle. Got it. Okay, yeah, the whistle.
I'm gonna be like super naggy about this, but you have these different areas with different names, but there was barely anything different about them.
Yeah.
And that felt weird. Then like I get it's easier to like traverse when you can say like you have to go towards that area, and when you're able to use a name to like say where you're going.
Yeah.
But a little bit more diversity would have been nice.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And maybe even just an architecture or something. Because now it just felt like you're seeing the same spaceships, the same rocks, the same trees. And like there's a little bit like some areas have a little bit of difference. Some of the like there's one area, I think the Northern Badlands, that's like mostly up high, like on top of the rocks where all of the buildings are. But it didn't feel different enough. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
I agree with that. There's definitely spots where I felt like it was more awesome. Like there was definitely it was in one of those, you know, the big dune trench, I think it was like the bridge of something, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, there's like that trench, right? But when you get to this giant, like cool, the collapsed bridge, you have to climb up to one side, and then as you get up, you can't cross because the bridge is broken, but you have to go like out and around, up and over, and then glide across and do this. Like that part was really cool. I thought like, oh, this feels so different from everything else that I've gotten to touch in this game so far. And once I completed that and got back to like, oh, I'm just back in the desert, I'm like, damn, I want more of that. I want more places like that. So it felt like I was seeing this diversity. I was hoping to find like, or you could probably argue there's something out there, but I was hoping for like a cool like oasis, right? Where I'm talking like there was the lake with the pretty palm trees and stuff. Where I'm like, oh, this is the thing that should not belong in this kind of climate, but it looks really cool and it's a cool setting. And I'm sure there's little sprouts of stuff throughout, but I didn't get like maybe a big experience of it that I would hope I would find. But let me see here. A couple of people super said from the footage I've seen, I can see why the glide would be infuriating in some cases. Super Nintendo Dad, Somerville and Sable are two games from 2022 where the trailer sold me on an experience game I didn't deliver on for me. So Somerville's another one I never got around to, and I heard similar things. Sable was, it's pretty much that, where I definitely felt so ready to explore this world and then didn't find what I needed out of it to feel, I'm like, oh, cool. I got an experience I needed. It just made me want to go play Caravan Sandwich. Like that was most of the game.
Very much same. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, this is the part where I'm gonna be like, yo, Caravan Sandwich team, let me know. I'm gonna play your game soon. Like I'm excited, but I also don't want to be like, sorry, Shedwork, your game made me want to go play something else. Because
no, but it is clear, and like sometimes you need games like that, like games that are more influential than they are considered great games. Because they influenced games that released later to great acclaim, like Caravan Sandwich, like Jusant. We wouldn't have those games without Sable, and I'm glad that we got them through this. And I had fun exploring this one, but I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had played it when it came out.
Yeah, totally valid. 100%. Now, this is where I asked chat what you guys think about it, because I know Zenoza wrote in to the bam. I put the timestamp in there for your guys' thoughts on Sable. Let's see. You mean Sable? Yeah, because I didn't update the doc and it still said Spiritfarer and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I love the time put into it. Granted, I needed a tutorial for that kid who hid the thing, but I love the exploration, and I know if I finish the game, I'll enjoy it. I'm hoping you did, Zenoza. I'm glad like what you've played of it, you've enjoyed so far. I definitely had my highlights. But I'm definitely very interested in seeing like if you continue to play it, how you end up with it at the end, and where you kind of fall with it. Because this is the part of saying, right, like people are going to enjoy this more than we did. And Zenoza could be in that audience of like, cool, like I enjoyed this game a lot. But yeah, so thank you so much, Zenoza, for writing in. It's the only we had right in for Sable. We appreciate that. Now, timestamp, Tofr. This is the part of the show where we gotta be like, thanks for listening to the podcast. We finished our book club. Now we gotta pick a game for next month. Now, next month, a little busy. We got this thing called Christmas. We got this thing called New Year's. So we won't really be open for like the end of the month book club. So maybe we gotta do one that's just a little bit longer, So this one we're gonna do 2 months. So the book club will be at the end of January. So we needed a longer game to kind of fit that window. And we talked, and we know 2025 finally has to be the year of our Lord and Savior Silksong. So it's about time we go back and finish Hollow Knight. So the book club for December/January is going to be Hollow Knight. So if you don't have it yet, I think that one's still on Game Pass. I'm pretty sure. If it's not, damn it, Xbox. Terrible timing. But I know it's on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. We're going to be playing Hollow Knight, the original, through the months of December and January. I finally get to download the game on my PlayStation, hop into it. I'm excited because I haven't ever finished it. And now we get to play Hollow Knight. Take your time.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what's beyond the elevator.
What's beyond the elevator, dude? It's time to learn. I'm looking forward to it, right? Because Hollow Knight was my first Metroidvania, I think. Probably when I like kind of understood, but I wasn't good at them. And I played so many other ones. I'm ready to get there and be like, got it. I figured out what it was. I figured out why I couldn't do it. It's gonna be like, there was a switch above you, dog. I'm like, motherfucker, how would I have known? I had no idea. And just see what it was that got me stuck, right? Look at my favorite indie, especially you, Danny. I saw what your favorite indie was, dog. It's the same one every time. Let me see. Hollow Knight, it's on Game Pass, and I'm getting my Xbox One back from my brother. Let's go, Zenoza. It's time to get Hollow Knighty up in this biznitch. You excited for Hollow Knight?
Absolutely. And the thing is, when I played it the first time, I got stuck, but I was still in the mindset of not using what do you call them?
Walkthroughs, guides.
Walkthrough.
Yep.
Yeah. And now I'm just gonna use a walkthrough.
Yep. Yeah.
Whenever I need to.
Yeah.
Because I want to. Like, I've heard so many good things, and especially about how emotional the game gets.
Yeah.
And I want this game to make me cry.
I'm ready to see the hot map girl. There's a bumpanada. Connor, you know, buddy. You know what I'm talking about? Just, you know, I guarantee Rule 34 is doing their work on that one, buddy. Let me tell you something. But, no, I love the style of this game. It's since we got the announcement of Silk Song, like, I've wanted to go back and play this one. It's just been a matter of, like, sitting down to do it. And I get that story from a lot of people who haven't finished Hollow Knight. So the fact that we get the chance to do this for the book club is like really exciting for me. I'm excited to finally go play this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, first book club of 2025 is going to be Hollow Knight, guys. Can you believe it? That's crazy.
We're manifesting Silk Song.
Yes, we'll do it. Team Cherry. Let's go. Let's play the game. Let's get Silk Song.
Can you imagine if like the live episode at the end of January is we get to announce the release date?
I'm sending some emails. Team Cherry Twitter. Are their DMs open? I assume not. Not Team Cherry. They can't. Yep. No, okay. Never mind. All right. Might have to find some business emails. They would never, right? Like they're like,
no, I don't think so.
We'll see if we. But I'm just saying, you know how big of a deal it fucking be. If all of a sudden, listen, if Silk Song releases on Christmas, I'm gonna be pissed. All due respect, that would be great. I will pick it up. I will certainly play it. There's no denying that. But Hades is doing it all year, where they're just like, let's drop Hades 2 early access in the middle of May when everyone's playing a bunch of other games. Let's drop a major update in the middle of, what was it? I think it was October or maybe it was September when a bunch of other games are coming out. Team Cherry, you could drop whenever. Find a spot where nobody's there and it's all you. Stop blocking other people, okay? Just don't do it. And on Christmas, when I tell my family I'm done with you, goodbye. You know, I'm getting 3 major RPGs on Christmas Day. Don't give me Silk Song on the same day. Don't do that to me. Don't do it. I want to play Dragon Age, okay? I want to give this game a shot, okay? Do it. Let me play some AAA for a minute, okay? Give me a second.
Ew.
I know, but Dragon Age looks really fun. Listen, if BioWare, can you imagine if BioWare went indie? That should be crazy.
That's true.
I mean, wild. But take my energy, manifest Silk Song. We got it, Super. We'll take it. Oh man. But timestamp that. But yes, January 28th, we'll be doing our Hollow Knight episode. I'll get to show off my cool little collector's physical edition of 2 that I have of it. So that'll be fun. But now let's hop into what we've been playing. Let me think here. What works best? I guess I should start, right? Because then you have one. I think so. Yeah, I'll just do the 2.
Especially since I'm really excited to find out about this first game.
Yeah, I bet you. No, hold on. You're hearing some other stream. I'm trying to pull up the VOD. Sorry, Zealand. I don't care about Football Manager 2024. Be shush. Quiet. All right, here we go. I think I already did the timestamp. We're fine. So, last night, I got to stream Mouthwashing. I received a key as one of the judges for the Indie Game Awards. Mouthwashing is nominated for, I believe, Indie Game of the Year and Best Narrative. I really enjoyed Mouthwashing. This one is hard to describe without getting into like spoilers, so I'm going to be like super vague with it. But essentially, you are playing as a ship crew, which I had no idea this game was in space. This was news to me hopping into it. But you're playing as a ship crew and you're delivering stuff through space. The stuff is also a spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's really hard to describe.
It is hard. It's hard to talk about mouthwashing, but it's really good.
Basically, let me try. Because I've played this one. I'm really excited about this. You can just then give your opinion on it.
Yeah.
But basically, you're this tiny crew on a spaceship delivering goods. The company you're working for is almost like done for. And things start to go wrong.
Yep.
But not in a like... This isn't like the jump scare kind of horror.
Right.
This is like the psychological, like the... Like how bad can humans get in a bad situation kind of horror.
And that's my speed. I don't like horror games like that. We'll play it for stream because chat likes jump scare, blah, 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 blah. But this is one that is a narrative horror game. It's more about, like you're saying, what could people do? What are some like, oh God, why does this guy look like that? And blah, blah, blah. Like, and you get to experience that narrative, right? This was such a cool experience. I will say up front, I did get a little bit like tilted last night, and this was not like anybody's like, nobody intent to hurt anybody, but there was a point where I was filled by a chat of people who have played this game or watched this game to death and been like, I've seen all the behind the scenes and blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of people being like, I know what's happening and I won't spoil it for Danny, but along the way being like, oh, this is coming up. Danny, be careful. Guy, chat, be careful for this, right? I had someone to be like, Danny, if you're reading this, stop, which sounded it was like stop in the game, not stop reading my message. So when I read the rest of the message, it was not a spoiler, but like something's about to happen. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I figured we're going to like the room we weren't supposed to go to yet. And it's like, oh, what's happening in there? But I have my predictions throughout where I'm like, this is going to happen. Oh no, that's not what happened. Right. So I did get like tilted for a bit there. And then I yelled at chat because they were playing all these freaking noises while I'm trying to run from this thing.
Pedro.
Yep, exactly. I'm like, guys, shut up. I can't hear to escape. So I did get like, I got a little tilted, which like soured it a little bit for me last night. I was just like, I'm not seeing the love and the hype for it. Like I'm not in any way to say like this game is bad. This game is not bad. This game is fantastic. This game is super cool. It's like 2.5 hours. Ours was probably even just ran a little bit long just because you were streaming, we're stopping, we're talking, blah, 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 blah. But like I thoroughly enjoyed, well.
Enjoy is like not the word I use.
I had a thought-provoking experience with these characters. There's a lot that happens. There's a lot that I think I understand entirely, like who did what and what happened here, but it's not explicitly said, which one of my viewers in chat, V Swede, developer, I am myself making Just Keep Running, wishlisted on Steam. He was very much like, this game is like a lot about interpretation. You're like, this is what I think happened here, but it could also mean this. And someone tells you like, oh, this is happening with me. And you're like, okay, but who caused that? Or who did, but like, ooh, is this happening? Like all these thoughts going through your head of like, what could it be? And then as things progress, you're finding more and more about it, but never the actual answer. So you kind of like develop what you think happened or who you think did it or blah, 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 blah. Right. So there's a lot of different things that happen. And I had such again, fun is so weird for games now, right? Because a game that you had fun with, like a game you enjoyed, doesn't necessarily mean it was fun, goofy, haha, this is great. But like, man, enjoyable is also not the word for it. I did enjoy my time, but the game is not enjoyable. It's tough. There's a lot of trigger warnings. I wasn't aware of that. There was actually someone who came into chat who had been bouncing between everybody streaming this game, doing like an hourly check-in, like, hey, I see you're playing the game. Got to make sure you're okay. Like, we're the check-in police. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I haven't had someone do that. Cool. But yeah, they hop to chat, just be like, hey, I know this is triggering. I see you're at this part. Are you good? Like, you chill. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. These are like obviously jarring and shocking things, but like they've never been like a mental toll for me. Like, it's just one of those, whoa, this is happening. But I was like, I really appreciate that you're doing that, because some people will be picking this up having no idea that this is what's about to happen, or like this is that, you know, have all these different subjects in it. So having that like nice little courtesy of like, oh, this is going to happen. Yikes, be careful. But yeah, no, this game is sick. This is definitely a front runner for narrative. I want to go back and look at our nominees for the Indie Game Awards and see like what else was on there. Cause I think Caravan Sandwich is on there, and I still have to play a little bit. So I'll basically be playing that just in time to finalize the votes for the Indie Game Awards.
Can we just, though, without spoiling anything, can we agree that this one person in this game is just the worst person in video games?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. That was,
I don't think I've seen anyone as bad as this one person.
Yeah. Now,
in any video game.
My chat, someone came in like, what do you think about this character? I'm like, I'm not sure. Like, they haven't done anything, but they're not great. In my chat, it was a wall, dude. Like, fucking worst human being to exist. Fucking slit him at his throat. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. What? They're like, you'll find out. You'll find out. Yeah. I'm like, damn.
You do find out.
Shit. But, yeah, not a great person.
I've watched way too many video essays on this game.
That's on my list. I have to get to that.
Finishing it, and like, the more you watch and the more you learn, the worse it gets. Yeah,
that's probably this evening. Once we're done recording, I get this all put into a folder. Like, I'm throwing on some game that I can explore, and then probably listening to some mouthwashing theory videos to be like, oh, interesting perspective. I didn't. So that's my evening for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, mouthwashing, really cool. Like, short experience, definitely a lot to handle. So go in with that mentality, but definitely recommend it. Really cool game.
Yeah, it is.
Time save. Now what's on? Yeah, tell me about your game. What's your going on?
I have been playing Dungeon Clawler.
Yeah, baby.
I haven't played that much of it because I was trying to get myself to play more Sable.
Yeah.
But like we got a key for the demo a while back.
Yep.
And that was upgraded to the early access release now, and I'm scared to go back to it. This is like, we had Balatro already this year. That was like this huge time sink where you're just keep on playing, and Dungeon Clawler really hits that same kind of one more try kind of feeling. Basically it plays like most roguelike deck builders do. But instead of building a deck of cards, you build this deck of items that you can then try to catch with this huge claw that comes from the top of the screen.
Yeah.
And that's how you fight your enemies. And God, like, if you know how infuriating these claw machines get in like fun fairs and stuff, it's just as bad here. Like, God damn. Oh my God. You just need that one item, and then you pick it up and you're like, yes, hell yes. And it goes up, and then it starts moving towards the exit, and it drops from the claw, and you're like, fuck my life.
No, I needed a goddamn. Yeah.
But this is one that's hard to put down.
Yeah. This one was really cool. I definitely remember loving the demo. I played the second character with the magnet. That was my default. I'm like, this one seems to get the job done. If I get a metal weapon, I'm just going to pick it up and not drop it. I didn't put... I think it was like probably 2 hours I played of like the demo that we had of just trying all the characters and stuff. I've not gotten back into the early access one yet, but yeah, this game's cool. I think
it is.
Roguelikes are such a fun genre, which like for the longest time, they were all so similar. Where like it was a game like Hades, it was a game like Binding of Isaac, like everything kind of stuck in that same niche. But now I'm just like, if I was to make a roguelike, I would want to go to like a random word generator and see what it gives me. I'm like, how do I make a roguelike out of this? Right? Because we've got poker roguelike, we've got the roulette's roguelike, we've got claw machine roguelike. We have all these different takes on like how can we make a roguelike. And I love the unique ways people do it with just random shit. So I think there's like just infinite possibilities of roguelikes, and I'm so excited about that.
Absolutely. And the thing is, with most games that like lean towards the Slay the Spire kind of thing, you have like 3 playable characters at most. This one seems to have like 10 or 12 or something.
Okay.
And I'm really eager to find out how differently each one of them plays.
Were any of the extra ones? We only had the 3 in the demo. Were anything extra unlocked for the full release, like at the start? So what else was there?
I think there's already like 7 or 8 that are unlocked from the start.
Okay.
And then there's a couple more. But after my first run, that took me like 15 minutes, I had already unlocked like 2 or 3 more characters.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
What did any of the new guys do? Any like standouts? You're like, oh, I like this one because they did blah, 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 or...
I haven't checked them out
Okay.
gameplay wise.
I hated them all. They all sucked. Give me the basic guy.
No, don't. Damn it. Be kind to Dungeon Clawler. This might be my new obsession.
It's a good obsession to have. It's a good one. I see Super Dungeon Clawler definitely looks interesting. Definitely, I'm saying this in the wake of, I guarantee I'm going to check my phone after this. I have like 3 or 4 hate comments about Balatro was nominated for Game of the Year. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like, right now.
Should have won, damn it.
Listen. There's still a chance. We have like 2 weeks or so. I'm holding out there because for every hate comment I get, okay, let me tell you this, Tofr. Let me tell you this. There's this one girl. Her name is Megan. She commented on my TikTok and said, this was nominated for Game of the Year. And every reply is pristine because they are calling Megan out by name just for like existing. It feels really good. We're like, yes, Megan, it's a good game. Yeah, Megan, did you even try it yet? Hey, Megan, how about you play a good game for once? Like, they're really funny. And if you're just like, yeah, Megan, and I'm living for it. People just be like, yeah, Megan, play Balatro. It's really great. That being said,
or the way it was pronounced at the Golden Joystick Awards, Balatro.
Balatro, listen.
Balatro. No one pronounces it Balatro.
I said Balatro? Yeah, Balatro.
Yeah. Sense.
What was? Hold on. Then someone correct me that it was something else.
Really?
Balatro. I forget. Balatro sounds right. Either one. But yeah, dude. Regardless how you pronounce it, the game's a blast.
Just a side tangent here.
Yeah.
But did you watch the Golden Joystick Awards?
I have not. I've seen the winners, but I have not watched it.
You know who won, right?
Game of the Year? Ooh,
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Another Crab Treasure got best like self-pub. I forget who won.
Game of the Year was Blacksmith Wukong.
Oh like, shit!
What? I was so mad. It was a good thing that was the last award of the evening because I was gonna shut it off. I was so upset. I was like, really? Balatro didn't even make the top 5. Damn it!
You know, I really like Blacksmith Wukong though. Like, I can't be mad, but like, I get it.
The thing is, they had console Game of the Year, PC Game of the Year, and then Game of the Year. And Blacksmith Wukong wasn't nominated for either PC game or console Game of the Year. And then it wins Game of the Year.
That's kind of shitty. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks a little bit.
I was a bit upset.
I'll let it have its flowers as someone who I'm pretty confident it won't win like the Jeff Keighley Game Awards Game of the Year. I'd like to see it win something. Yeah, I'd be a little bit shocked. I think. But here's the thing, right? And we're getting to the tangent of the Game Awards again. But with Elden Ring nominated, right? Which is like the Souls-like experience, but it's also the DLC, so everyone's bitching and moaning that it shouldn't be nominated. I think if Blacksmith, I did this in my video. If you haven't seen the Game Awards voting video, it's out on YouTube. I did the video and explained at the end, like, no matter what wins, someone's going to complain. Like, Balatro, what's this ugly little poker game? Blacksmith, Elden Ring's right there. Elden Ring wins. Oh, how did a DLC win? Metaphor, I don't even play JRPGs. Everything's going to have a reason for why it shouldn't have won. It doesn't matter what wins. And that's just gamers because they suck. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing what wins and praying it's Balatro, because if it's Balatro, do you know how long I'm gonna just hang on that? And there's gonna be like, this fucking Doom and fucking, I don't fucking get it. Just, how did this fucking card game win? And I'm like, dog, eat my ass. You fucking suck. Like, it's, I want it to win so bad. I'm confident that it might not, but if it does,
it won't. Probably.
Come on, let me dream. Let me like 50% dream.
Yeah. It's probably gonna win.
There we go. Let's go. Balatro. I mean, Indie Game of the Year, I think is a lock. I think it's taking that. They're gonna have their shelf of what they're nominated 5 times. I'm thinking they leave with at least 3. Best mobile game, I think, is their lock. Indie Game of the Year, and I think they're also nominated for Best Debut. They might run away with like the little shelf of 3 Game Award trophies. So we'll see.
Nice.
I'd be happy for him. I want Local Thunk to tweet out that picture of just the shelf, right? Like, I want that. Anyway, yeah, Dungeon Clawler is really cool.
It is.
That.
Tell me more about what you've been playing.
All right. So, Tofr, let me tell you, this past weekend, we were supposed to play Dungeons and Dragons. Right? We play every Friday night. It's a good time. One of our players was out, predetermined, right? One of our players was like, oops, I didn't know we were playing tonight. Sorry, I'm not going to be there. We spent about 10 minutes being mad at her. You know, what the fuck? How would you just assume we're not playing? Whatever. We're like, well, DM got pissed. They're like, let's just not play. Let's do something else. So we checked out, you heard about Lockdown Protocol? You might have. It's the Among Us-esque game that's all over TikTok, where it's a bunch of astronauts and they're doing the like someone's the killer. Straight up Among Us. You might recognize the gameplay. Let me. I'll show you this real quick. This is Lockdown Protocol. So this is a riot. I love this, and I think it's because the tasks are so much more intricate than Among Us. We're like Among Us is very simple. You swipe the card, you do the thing like it's a simple, right? Yeah. But there, I think like 6 different tasks. The game's in early access right now, so they're still adding more, whatever. But let me pull up to a part where there's actual footage. But you got the same thing. We play with a group of 6. There are 5 crewmates, and there's 1 dissident who is the one trying to make sure you don't complete the tasks. And there's ones who are trying to like just kill everybody. But it's all based upon what you find in the map. It's like in Among Us, you run up to someone, you're the killer, you just kill them, right? But like, you can't just bare hand kill somebody in the game. You need to have a tool. So like, if you have like a block that you have to use to charge something like a battery, you can run up and just hit somebody with it. It won't do a lot of damage, but like over time it will. You can stab them with a screwdriver. There's a knife. There's various guns you can find. There's all these different things that you can use to kill people. But there's no rules of like who can and can't pick them up. Anybody can. So it's still the chaos of like, uh-oh. I see my friend picked up the gun, so he's got to be the bad guy, right? Because he's trying to kill me. But he's like, no, I just want to make sure the bad guy doesn't get it. Like, it's that chaos of trying to figure out who's doing what, and it's great. Our first like lobby was totally bugged because out of the 4 runs, I was a dissident 3 times in a row, and I was like, God damn it! And it was our first time playing, so I didn't know the task, so I couldn't like play up like, oh, I have to go complete something over there because I don't know what this game does. So I had to play super fucking dumb, but I got the gun and I was like, this game is cool. I'm being in early access. I'm excited to see what else gets added. Right now it's just 1 map. It's like 6 tasks. There's scanners, which is like someone looks at a monitor. The other person has to look around a room and you have to kind of tell them like, look up, to the right, to the left, lock in. Okay, now down. Like you have to like lock in and look at certain areas. There's delivery. We have to run around.
Oh. You just murdered that person.
I did. That was Noah. Love you, Noah. But there's deliveries where like you go into the storage room and there's just a bunch of boxes that have like a logo on them. So you have to take them to that section of the map and turn them in. Now you either win by killing everyone or making sure they don't complete their tasks. So when we have delivery, I will take a box and hide it somewhere in the map. So when they're like, guys, we still have to turn in 1 delivery. I'm like, well, where'd it go? Who has it? They're like, oh my God, the guy hit it again. I found a sweet spot. I'm not going to tell anybody where it is, but it's a part of the map that for some reason nobody ever goes to. So I always hide the package there. So they're like, where's it at? The guy, it's gone. Danny's got to be again. Like, me? I wasn't me. And even if they kill me, it doesn't matter. The game won't end until they complete the task. So if they can't find the box, they can't win. So I'm good. But no, like it's that fun again of like playing Among Us. I definitely don't have a lot of streamer friends that are playing it yet, or if they are, I don't know. But this would be a fantastic just like group night. I love to get. Another important thing: if you run out of stamina, you die. Doesn't matter who you are, what you did. So if you look at the bottom, it's hidden behind my face cam, so you guys can't see it. But you have like 100 health. It's kind of layered. It's almost like an armor and a shield, but it's all stamina, just for the sake of perspective. When you're running, sprinting, whatever, you deplete that stamina. If you get to 0, you just die. So sometimes people run in and be like, no one will ever trust you, and then just jump until they die. So someone comes and finds you with the dead body, like, okay, I know what this looks like, but like they did this to themselves. Like, yeah, I'm sure Kanai killed him. That's crazy. Why would he ever? Fucking got him. We did. I'll tell one other story with it, right? As we, the one time me and Kanai, Kanai was a dissonant and someone watched him kill me and he died. So from the beginning, we're the only 2 dead ones. So we call it the ghost zone. It's where you go when you die. You can talk to each other and see everything, but they can't hear you. So in that moment from the start, we're like, okay, next round, whatever happens, whether you're the dissonant, if I'm the dissonant, we got to come up with a keyword. So whoever is the bad guy, the other person's their bodyguard. So we're like, okay, if you're it, you call me a pipsqueak. Call me a pipsqueak and I'll know. So I spawn in, I'm the bad guy. I'm like, get out of my way, pipsqueak. Kanai's like, got this. Okay. So Kanai's running around, he's finding the gun, he's finding everything. He's just making sure like he's watching to make sure nobody kills me. We had a bit of room where it's me, him, and 2 other friends. And the one friend's like, look, if Kanai's throwing because he's the bad guy and blah, 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 like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Then Phantom walks in, one of my mods, and she's just like, what's going on in here? And then Kanai kills Chris, and Phantom goes, what the fuck? And then I shoot her in the face, and the game ends, and I'm like, I win. It's so much fun. Yeah. This is a great one. Again, you like Among Us, you like Goose Goose Duck, whatever. I think it's like $10 on Steam. It's really fun. It's really cool. I like this game a lot.
How many players are there in the lobby?
Up to 8. Up to 8.
Up to 8. Okay.
Yep. So we played with 6. I think by default, I think you changed the rules. We didn't really mess with them. We kind of left them all default. But yeah, you get 1 dissonant, 5 crewmen. I think you can get up to 3 dissonant if you have 8 players, but you just have to change the setting. But either way, it's really cool. It's okay. Super funny. I've been seeing so many clips of it. I've been wanting to check it out. It was just a matter of having like enough people together at one time. This is where Chris killed me because he's a dickwad. Literally, okay, another story. There's cassette tapes you can play. The one song here that you find, it's a copyright-free YouTube video, whatever. I used that song for my 50th platinum video, where I think the song's called On and On. And I did like a compilation of like Spyro the Dragon, like all 3 games with the gameplay, the platinum logo, etc. on it. And when I got to 50, it cuts like the God of War music. I'm gonna platinum God of War, blah blah blah. But like when the song played, I'm like, oh my God, I remember this. Chris had me ranting about like the time I made the video and what went into it, blah, 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 blah. And then I turn around with the bullet in my face, just bam. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. I can't unmute it because I said some aggressive things. But I was basically like, Chris, I hope you fucking die. I hope they get you. I should have killed you when I had the chance, you motherfucker. Like I was angry, but like not angry, like video game angry. But yeah, it's a fun time. I love to get a group together to play some more. So if that ever crosses the path of a fun weekend plan, should be a good time. Cool. Yeah. Oh man. Let me see here. Right now, hour 16. I've been rambling for a minute. Fuck it. I'll do a quick little chat about Children of the Sun. Yeah, let's do this. So, you talked about this one earlier in the year. It's a Devolver John's called Children of the Sun, and it is essentially this. I want to say third person, but really, it's probably just a little more first person than anything. But you are this girl who has a sniper rifle and you're trying to take out this like evil cult tribe type deal. And every time you shoot your bullet, when it makes contact with someone, you get the chance to redirect and try and hit somebody else. So it's like very sniper elite, but you have this like ability to retarget your bullet every time you make contact. It's a fun puzzle game in the way of like when you start, it's just hit somebody and you're good. But eventually you level up like, hey, enemies are going to have a weak spot. So if you hit that, you get a charge. Once you have 2 charges, you can fully redirect your bullet. So while you're flying, you can stop and turn everything. Eventually you get fully armored characters. So like you have to be far enough away so you get like the full speed boost so you can bust through their armor. You'll get guys in vehicles. You'll get people who are like underground, so you have to like find different paths to get to them. People who are hidden like just behind the curtains, you have to slip in to get them. It's fun. It's really dope. Another one I got a key for the Indie Game Awards. This came out, I think it was like sometime this summer, and I played the demo and was like really into it, but never committed. So this past weekend, I played through the whole thing. I want to say in the ballpark of 20 to 30-ish levels, somewhere in that range. It's really good. It got super challenging after a point, and I was like, God, I fucking suck at this. But once I got through it, I was like, this was dope. This is a really cool experience. And I think if I recall, made by one person, Renee Rother. Really dope game. Great art style. They have these dope like comic book style cutscenes between every couple levels to kind of tell the story of where you're going. A couple tutorials to introduce the new mechanics. It's simple but challenging. It's sick. It's so dope.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like the thing that pops into my mind while watching this footage is, so I watched the Golden Joystick Awards.
Okay.
they have this category for visual design.
Okay.
And I think, with the exception of maybe one game, all of these games were just like these ultra realistic looking games. I'm like, that's not what the visual design category is for.
Was this nominated?
No, it wasn't.
Motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, for example, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which has been getting nominations for like Game of the Year and stuff. That has a really unique visual style as well. Not nominated.
Yeah.
I think the only really visually outstanding style that was represented in that category was the Re Fantasio something or other.
Okay, yeah, Metaphor Re Fantasio looks sick.
Yeah, that one.
Persona, let's go.
And it didn't even win. So,
that's crazy. What'd you say? Do you know what won?
I can't remember. It was one of the realistic looking ones.
Yeah, I've said that every year with the Game Awards. I don't get me wrong. I love a visually stunning game. I'm so excited for Ghosts of Yotei next year. Like, those games are going to be sick. I when it's a best art direction thing or a best visual style, like something that's hyper realistic is not that, like, at least to me, and how I think that category should be handled. I remember back to 2017, like I remember seeing Cuphead nominated against a bunch of like big AAA games. I'm like, Cuphead wins. Cuphead doesn't lose this because it is literally its art style, and it won, like aggressively so. Like, I was like, good, it should have won. But like, as I sit and think about the year, The Artful Escape was nominated. It didn't win. I'm like, that's crazy. This game should have won. I look at this, like Children of the Sun. I think about things like, I think Bo Path of Teal Lotus is nominated for the Indie Game Awards. Like, these have very unique styles to them, which I'm like, this is something that should make it a standout for this. But when you're like, oh, our game has like super God rays, ray tracing, like that's great. Like, don't get me wrong, the game looks awesome. But we're talking like a visual style. Like, no, I don't think that's what goes into that. So when those games win, I get a little peeved. I'm like, God damn it.
I could tell you which one won, and you're gonna be in two minds about it because it's Black Myth Wukong.
Okay. I said this in my voting video. I was like, I won't hate that Black Myth wins, but I'll hate that something else didn't, because Black Myth does some dope stuff with like the Chinese mythology and like the design of what they do with things. Like, that's really cool. But yeah, I would think in a world where I wish Children of the Sun was nominated over that. I don't know how Joysticks does theirs, how they make their nominees, and if they have people vote or whatever like that is. But it might just be not enough people played Children of the Sun to put it on the list, which is a shame. As someone who just played it now, yeah, it's a shame. Big shame. Yeah, real quick. Zeno's asked, the Among Us type game, is it free? It is not. It's like $10 in early access. But if it's anything like other early access games, sometimes they go up in price when it hits 1.0. So if you buy it now for $10 and it releases later for 20, you get it discounted, which is maybe a weird backwards way of thinking about it. But yeah, it's like $10. So ask for some Steam gift cards for Christmas. You can grab it.
Yeah, Children of the Sun only has like about 1,000 reviews on Steam, so I can imagine not enough people playing it.
Yeah, I gotta leave my review now that I finished it. It's really great. It's so cool. Such a dope game.
It is.
Timestamp, baby. And now, let's move on quickly to our indie releases this week. We're talking November 29th through December 4th. We've got Anton Blast coming December 3rd for Switch and PC. We got Lorelei and the Laser Eye on December 3rd for PlayStation. The Edge of Allegoria December 4th for PC. And then Slope Crashers on December 4th for Xbox, Switch, and PC. Any of these bangers you're looking forward to?
Yeah, actually, Slope Crashers.
Yeah, okay, hell yeah.
it's a multiplayer snowboarding game with cute animals. Like, I am so there for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, I think, I know you talked about another Penguin game for like the Steam Next Fest stuff, but I think...
Yeah, Fast Penguin.
Slope Crashers was yelling at me. But yeah, we definitely talked about that one, but like this is the one I always think of in that, like the slope, snowboarding one. This one looks really dope. I definitely am interested in checking this one out. I forget if this is one of the one that's free to play when it comes out. I want to say, yeah, okay. I couldn't remember. I think the other one might have been the Penguin one.
The Penguin one is.
Yeah, okay.
And it still runs like trash, apparently.
Well, shoot. But yeah, this one always looks cute. I remember seeing it, I think, on TikTok or something. I thought it looked fun. Whether I'll get to it this year with the other stack of things I'm still trying to play for again, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, this one's cool. I know I'm looking forward to Anton Blast here in the coming days.
That's the Wario Land.
Yep, very Wario Land-esque. You're playing as a dude. And I forget if it's your daughter goes missing or what exactly the lore is of the whole thing. But dude, really angy. I got to play the demo last year, and I got to play a little bit more of the new demo at PAX this past year, back in March. Yeah, if you like Wario Land, like the fast Pizza Tower, very Pizza Tower-esque for those who like love Pizza Tower. This one got a little bit more perception to it, so like you can like jump back in the world. So almost like some of the like maybe 10-year ago Mario games, you jump back in distance, you play on that platform, then you come forward again and do that again. It's really cool. Really fast, really aggressive. I think I got lost at one point, not sure how to progress by like hitting something. Almost Wario Land, but also Sonic, where it's like, it's not necessarily just running to the right. You still have to, you know, complete things and move platforms and junk to get through things. But it looks insane. Just over the top, like nonstop energy. Like I'm excited for Anton Blast. This one looks cool.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they're releasing it this late in the year.
Yeah, December's a weird month, right? Where like, I think I've been constructing the like indie game releases video for December, et cetera. Got to get that finished before the month starts. But as I sit and look at like, this month was hard to find stuff for. Like I had a dev reach out to me. He's like, hey, I know you do these videos. Hypothetically, if you're looking for a spot, I'm like, thank you, because I've been struggling. You're in. I'm like, if you have any other indie friends coming out this month, he's like, I don't, but I know these 2 games are coming out. I'm like, great. One of those is already on there. I haven't heard the other one. So that's going on too. Thank you. Like they're tough. Nice. Like December's always a quiet month. Like as we're sitting here, this week has 4 releases and one of them's a re-release, like the console port. So December gets quiet, which is kind of nice because we could, you know, not have to play everything, but you know, then January and February got to be fucking packed. So,
yeah,
that's okay. We'll have our most anticipated list to make by then. So, oh boy. But yeah, to round out the video here, Tofr. This is the part we write in and talk about our viewers' favorite indie games. However, the other one that was written in was Inosa telling us about fucking was it Stardew again? No, Terraria. Tell us about Terraria again. So we're gonna use this spot to talk about an indie game that needs to be highlighted, one that maybe doesn't have as much attention, or an upcoming one that people haven't heard about yet and they need to keep on their radar. So you put on this week. What you got for us?
I once again want to shout out SaltSea Chronicles, which is the second game by the third game actually by Die Gute Fabrik, who now sadly no longer exist, I think.
Yeah.
But it's if they kept making games, I would buy every single one of them.
Yeah.
There is no studio, AAA or indie, who writes characters as well as Die Gute Fabrik does, according to me. It's a personal thing, maybe.
According to me, my decision.
my opinion. But yeah, basically your captain goes missing and the ship gets stolen, and you have to go like visit all of these different communities that have formed in the aftermath of like a cataclysmic event. And you have to try and find out what has happened, and you get to know the crew of your ship doing so, and there's you get to know people in these communities as well, which is really cool because the communities feel like very different people.
Yeah,
like they're written as if they're from different countries, and it's so well done. The cool thing as well is that there's tons of replayability because for like every time you get off your ship, you have to choose which of your crew, which 2 people from your crew would go on land.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
You can switch it up, and then like you can see relationships start forming, or maybe not forming at all. It really like I didn't really prepare this, but I get so excited talking about this game because it's so good, and it has less than 100 reviews on Steam. Damn. Even though it's been out for over a year. Yeah. And I don't get why, because Die Gute Fabrik deserves so much more love.
Yeah, no, I get it. As someone who hasn't touched any of their games yet, SaltSea or Mutazione, like Mutazione, both ones that are like on the list to get to at some point and just haven't yet. But yeah, they both look great. They both look dope. Like SaltSea Chronicles, I remember seeing the hype behind it when it came out, which like sucked to see that when I saw so many people gasp for it. I think it was just weird because I usually use vocal minority as like a negative thing where it's like, I'm angry, but I'm loud about it. Like seeing the people who were excited about it, but knowing like the people who were really excited was still such a small number in terms of like what makes a game successful. Like it does suck to see the like, I forget if they were like, we're done or like right now we can't sustain ourselves to do anything. If we come back, great. I forget what they're indie devs tend to be a little more on the like, if something happens, great. But right now nothing can happen. We really can't do anything until there'd be a chance for us.
The thing is they are or were a really international studio. They had people from like a number of different countries working on the same. So I don't know if like the core team is settled in one country or not. I know that some people have moved on. Like one person from the team has gone to Night School Studios. The people who made so that seems like a good fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping they manage to get like funding for another project because again, their writing is so good, and also the graphical style, the visual style, it's so unique. There are no games that look like the Gute Fabrik games.
Yeah, they have a great style. The simplicity and like the character design is really cool, really dope.
Yeah.
And because Zenoza yelled at me, like, my Danny, I gave you 2. Right. Okay. So Zenoza wrote in and said, Terraria, Danny, I know what you're going to say already because it's my first. For Danny, I choose Unravel 2 because I enjoy playing it with my brother. Unravel 2 is really good. You play the Unravel games?
I haven't. I was going to with like an ex-girlfriend and then we broke up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. She didn't deserve him anyway. She doesn't get that love. She can't have him. Yeah, I think the first one's single player, but like I really love that game. I have a little like toy Yarny in the closet somewhere I used to have hang up, and then we moved house, so I have a different window set up. But Unravel 2 was great. I did a Let's Play with my friend Britcraft. She does a lot of like GTA RP stuff now, but we did a Let's Play. We played through the game co-op. 2's great. 2's really cute and charming. Like they're both just fun games. I'd love to see a third one. I don't know what's coming from the team next. It is one of like the EA originals. So we're talking the wheelhouse of the A Way Outs, It Takes Two, Immortals of Avium, which I think technically still falls under indie. I think they're in that weird like EA published, but like I don't think they're EA. They might be EA funded, but not owned. I don't know. One way or the other. Yeah, the Unravel games are great. I still remember the day like at EA Play, the dev came out. He's like, we went on a vacation. I was trying to come up with a game. So I grabbed a spool of yarn. I made this little character. He's sitting there holding like his little toy yarn. I'm like, this is precious. I love this. I love this. One of those indie sparks of like, why do you like indie games? Like, because a shy little man said, this is my toy, I'm gonna make a game. Like, yes, go my friend, create. Like, come on, what do you mean? This is great. Yeah, the Unravel games are great. I love them. They're so cute. Until you get squished by a rock, but don't worry about that. Oh man, but timestamp. And with that, I think that is the end of our episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobs and Grills, non-binary friends, thank you so much for watching this episode of Playlog. Let us know what you thought of Sable, what games you're looking forward to this week. Any of the games that we played, you're going to check them out. All that fun stuff. If you want to find us on the interwebs, I'm going to pass it over to Tofr. Tofr, where little scrublets find you on the internet?
The easiest way is through my link tree, which is play.nice.kids in one word.
And it is in the YouTube description, except the one time I copied a link from an old video and I forgot to get it out of there, so it wasn't there, but then the next one I had to go back and find it. So there is an episode that doesn't have it, but I fixed it. It should be fine now. It should be in the last one. Now this one, anyway, we're going to figure it out. And then, of course, you guys can find me at CGDannyB, all of his social media. Links are in the description. And now Blue Sky, it's a great place. Go to Blue Sky. It's nice Twitter where indie games get to thrive and we get to talk about it with people and not be, toxic assholes. And we're all rooting for Balachu over there.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Don't forget to start playing Hollow Knight for January, our first book club of the year. Try to think of anything else. Don't forget the Indie Awards are here on the 19th of December, so we're doing a live reaction, as well as the regular Game Awards on the 12th. That'll be 2 weekend reactions we'll be doing. And then, I think that's the big highlights. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Toodles.